What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to the very first installment of the Creator Chat podcast. I am so excited to be starting this venture. I tend to start a new, very large project every new year. The birth of my main channel was actually a January 1st, 2020 channel baby. So every new year, every time I get around that December end of a year, I always want to try a new thing. After year one on YouTube with my main channel, I then launched my second channel, which was my content coaching channel, and that launched year two. And then at that same time, I launched my variety podcast, Nigel, a personal podcast, to go ahead and match the variety channel that I had. So it only makes sense for my fourth venture to be this beautiful podcast here, the Creator Chat Podcast, where we will talk about all things creator, all things influencer, all things monetization, YouTube, Instagram, branding, anything that I can think of. Now, I know some people may be thinking this may be too much, this may be too extra. I already have a content coaching creator channel that I upload classes to, and I have my series over there, Creator Spotlight, where I talk to all different types of other creators on that second channel. But I really thought long and hard, and I'm in love with my main channel. I love running the variety channel, and I'm interested in so many different things as an entertainer and as a performer that it only makes sense that I take the inspiration of the world and throw that all back onto that variety channel. And it feels so good to be a full-time creator from that. But after doing so much studying on YouTube myself and so much extensive research, I know that it's in my best interest to niche down as far as wanting to see the success of a channel. And when it comes to all the things that I'm interested in, the only thing that I could think to niche down and start another channel with was that content coaching, that creation, all the things creator chat, And this is the only thing that makes sense to have another podcast for, and a niche down podcast, because this is something I could talk about for hours, which is what I do. My dream, my passion for creating content, for doing YouTube, for branding myself the proper way. This journey of growing in the creator industry has been so much for me, and so exciting, but also lost, because we are in the beginning and in the process of creating something that was not here years ago. So we're very much in the beginning of something beautiful, and I'm so honored to be a part of that. But it also limits the amount of knowledge that's out there to grow in this industry. To become the greatest I can possibly be is just kind of like a very cloudy road. Like, I know that I'm meant for this, and this is definitely my dream to continue to be successful in content creation, but it can be very difficult to not know which path to follow or what to do next, because everyone's journey is individually unique. But the one thing that has helped me guide my way through this journey is all the podcasts out there, all the mentors out there, all the YouTube channels that center around content creation and giving you those tips and tricks on how to get views, and those tips and tricks on how to rank with your title. All that stuff I learned, and I enjoyed it so much that I love teaching it back in my own fresh way. And that's why I have the second channel. That's why I have this podcast here, because it took me a minute to realize, like, no, it's not too saturated. Yes, there are hundreds of podcasts. Yes, there are hundreds of those channels, but I want to be able to teach what I've been taught through all the mentors and through all the podcasts I listen to in my own way. There may be information all wrapped together in one of these episodes that you may need to hear, but it may be the accumulation of different pieces that I've heard from different people throughout all my research. So I think the more you do and the more people that you sit down and listen to, the better you will be as a creator. And I don't believe in like gatekeeping. So one thing that is really important about this creator chat is really creating that kind of vulnerable, open space here where I'm telling you things as they happen, just like the vlogs and the classes on my content coaching channel. I am teaching you as I learn it. And I think having the podcast and being able to speak longer and more raw will allow me to vent, and this will therapeutically help me as a creator, because one thing that I have gone through is that whole feeling of not having a lot of people to talk to. And another thing you guys should know is that my variety channel podcast, Nigel, a personal podcast, is just me as well. And so will this one. I am gonna probably grow this to a point where I'm thinking about putting a link down below where people can apply to be a guest on here. And I would love to talk to other creators. I would love to learn their story and make that part of these episodes and part of this journey, because I know for a fact you learn so much from interviews, you learn so much from listening to other people tell their stories. So I would love to have people on here. If you're a creator and you're listening to this and you want to share your YouTube story, please let me know in the comments down below, or write a review and let me know, or DM me over on Instagram, Princess Pudding, or find any, my contact information is everywhere. So definitely reach out if there's not already a link below to apply to be a guest on this show. I would love to have you. But if I don't get those guests, if I can't line them up, if there's no one who wants to come on here and talk creator chat with me, this will be a solo thing. I have no problem coming on here and venting my feelings, because it's going to therapeutically help me, because there's not a lot of creator friends in my life. So having this podcast, having my coaching channel, and loving what I talk about, and being so passionate about YouTube and the family that I've grown on there, and the impact that I want to have in the world, all that means so much to me. So to be able to speak about it freely is very, very special to me. So I appreciate this podcast. I appreciate anyone who's listening. And just so you understand that I would love to have guests on here. I would love to hear other people's YouTube stories, but if they don't come along, this will just be me speaking my mind. And it's exciting because I think that this will grow just like a channel will. I think that I will learn more about podcasting just like a channel will. And with my main variety channel, I did learn so much. But the things that I've learned on the second channel, the content creation channel, and it being niche down for content creators, I learned even more. And it's so crazy to say, because on the main channel I'm at over 55,000 subscribers, and then I'm only at 200 over on the content coaching channel at this time. But I still have learned equally from both channels, because they're both two different types of channels. And it just goes to say how unique this industry is, depending on what type of content you make and how different everyone's journey is. And I just really can't wait to have other people on here, if they are available, to kind of talk about their journeys and get into the nitty-gritty of things, but also just come on here and let you guys know what I'm feeling about certain topics. But for this first introductory episode, I just wanted to let you guys know where I'm coming from, and just kind of tell you how I became a content creator. And I've already given you little pieces here and there, but I figured I'd tell you a story from beginning to end, just so that you have a better understanding of where I'm getting all of my information, why I feel like I have the value to create a podcast like this, as well as a second channel that is about all this. So just to give you a little background on me, Nigel Battle is my name, and I have been a performer and entertainer my entire life. I started doing theater when I was very, very young in summer camp, and I did about two shows a summer for like 6 or 7 years in a row. And then once I got into middle school, I started theater and doing drama there as a class, as well as choir. And then I got into my first theater program after school. And when I was 12 years old, I landed my first lead in the musical, and it was up from there. I never looked back. And it's so interesting, because when I was a performer younger in those theater days at the theater camps, I was always an ensemble. And my mom, who is a huge advocate for me and my best friend in this whole journey, she would always tell me, like, just hang on, keep working hard. Like, you're only an ensemble right now. You will eventually get a lead role. Just don't give up, keep working hard. And I followed that exactly. And I finally ended up getting a lead role in Horton the Elephant in Seussical, which is one of my favorite musicals in the world. And that part showed me so much about what I was capable of, and so much of that confidence that I learned at a young age at theater, I still put into my performance lifestyle today and in my creator journey. So that's only why I'm taking you back that far, because so much of what I've done has wrapped all together. But I got that first lead when I was 12 years old in the show, and then that led into high school. And once I got into high school, I also began to do more parts, more musical theater, more choir, more performing, and I did all of that all of high school. So many shows a year, community theater really kept me busy. It really taught me a lot about balance and scheduling all my different things that I wanted to do, as well as with my social life. And a lot of, again, what I practice today, I learned at that young age from trying to balance theater and life and everything at one time. So once I graduated high school, I started to get the itch to start drag performing because I knew I was turning 21, and that had always been a dream of mine after seeing multiple queens on, this was now the early days of RuPaul's Drag Race, but even just knowing RuPaul and just knowing that it was an art form, it's not as big as it was today, but it was still an art form back then that I was aware of, so I wanted a piece of it. And I arranged for at my 21st birthday to literally be in drag, and I even begged the venue event planner of my 21st birthday to let me perform at the event, and he agreed. So I climbed on this stage in drag for my first time at 21, and I performed for my friends and family. And then the next day I was in the city competing and looking for bar gigs, and I was just so into drag, and I was taking all of the things that I learned in theater as a kid, and all of that confidence and all of the things that taught me how to stand out and be myself, and fight for my talent and my craft. I took all of that from a kid and from theater, and I wrapped it into drag, and I did that for years and years and years. I love drag so much. I love the art of makeup and performing and lip syncing and just creating something from scratch. And then when 2020 rolled around, I decided I wanted to take an extra step in drag that no one else was taking. I realized that only the queens who were on RuPaul's Drag Race were creating music and, you know, doing well with it, obviously, because of their following coming from Drag Race. But other local queens kind of were known for hitting the bar, doing their show, and going home. I wanted to do a little bit more, and I wanted to create a drag original single that I could use to perform, rather than, I would always do a lot of Britney, a lot of Pussycat Dolls, all the really fun feminine pop stars I was known for performing as when I went out into the clubs and the bars. But I wanted to create my own original song, so I contacted one of my favorite producers and music stars, B. Ames, and she helped me produce and craft my first single, Lick, by Jasmine Anastasia, which is on my Spotify page, as well as iTunes and wherever music is sold. And we crafted Lick together from the ground up, and it's one of my greatest accomplishments. And one of the things I was most excited about after crafting my very first song was creating my own music video. So I literally changed around my room, really arranged everything, did what I could with the outfits that I had, and I created this original music video for Lick in my room. And once the music video was done, I thought to myself, okay, it's done, now where is it gonna go? Where else is a music video gonna go? And YouTube is where it went. So I uploaded the music video to my YouTube channel, which was created for the sake of watching YouTube, was never created to start performing on it. But growing up, having done all that drag and all that theater, people were constantly telling me, you should do YouTube. You have the personality for YouTube. You should be on YouTube. Where's your YouTube channel? And I would just kind of laugh it off. I knew I was talented. I knew I could do well on there. But there was this bar that I set for myself where I knew I was great, but I wasn't that great. I wasn't great enough to be on YouTube and make money on it and build the success that other people have had. And for some reason, that leap from me wanting to do drag and jump into creating drag and drag music videos, it's something clicked. It was you are good enough, you are talented enough, and you're gonna try this. You're not just gonna sit here and put this music video up and not try when I saw that the music video was up and it already kind of counted as my first video, it was like, why not try other things? There's music that has influenced you to get to this point in your drag career where you want to produce your own drag music and you want to be this pop star. Why not go through and talk about some of the other artists that inspire you? And I kid you not, I said, let me show them my reaction to like Britney Spears at the VMAs, Oops, I Did It Again. Because a performance like that is part of the reason why I wanted to write my own music, why I wanted to perform my own music and be my own original pop drag songstress. Like the reason because of that is because of the influence that I got from the Oops, I Did It Again 2000 VMAs and the Slave for You VMAs. Like those performances on Britney are so iconic to me and they inspired me in so much. So I said, let me show the YouTube world what it's like for me to analyze and talk about my favorite performances. And when I uploaded it, I had no idea it was known as a reaction video and that there were hundreds of other people doing it. So that's my story on how I literally not only stumbled into YouTube and got my confidence to do it, but my original ideas for my variety channel were not so original. Like, there's a whole reaction world where people upload their first reactions and analysis of their favorite movies, TV shows, songs, and sure enough, people saw that reaction I did to Britney, totally loved the genuineness and how real it was, and that always warms my heart because the reaction community does have this stigma for people like clout chasing views because some artists give more views than others. So some people will just react to certain artists just for the views. And you could tell in that video that I was reacting for the love of Britney, for the passion, for the inspiration she's given me, and all I was trying to do was carry that forward and bring that into fruition. You know, I was trying to just show people my analyzation of one of the greatest things I've ever seen, and the realness and everything that was in my heart showed on camera. And that's something that has stayed true all the way up until my latest reaction. Like, I just always react with my heart. So I already am giving such a different take on what's going on in the reaction community. So I try not to think about the stigma or what people think of that world. I just think about how I uniquely brought something different to it. Not only that, but I just don't fall under just a reaction artist or just a reaction channel. That's why it's a variety channel, because I do so many other things. And now that I'm back to doing theater, I put my performances up on theater. I'm still doing drag music and putting that on the channel, as well as movie reviews, because I love all my movies and TV shows so much. And then as well as personal vlogs, because doing personal vlogs and not making it just a reaction channel made sense to me, because as I began to go through things in life, it was like I wanted my audience that was growing so rapidly to be aware of what was happening. So rather than watch my reaction and think like, oh, why is he reacting this way, or what's making him feel this way, you have a better understanding of what happened to me the day before or the week before, because I'm uploading vlogs in between that entertainment variety content, and I'm allowing my audience to get to know me on a personal level, which is what I want that variety channel to be. I want them to be there for me rather than the different content that I'm doing. And I love that they're there to support their favorite artists, but I also am so honored that a lot of them do come back just for me, and they don't really care what artist I'm reacting to or what movie I'm reviewing. They just want to see how my day is going and how I'm feeling about certain content, and that makes me so happy. And that's how I know that that channel is on its right path. So I'm very proud of the variety channel, and all I ever wanted to do was teach everyone what I learned doing that, because I did that for a whole year before I even started the second channel. But it was so important to me that I started that second channel to start to teach, because so much knowledge was in my mind, and I had done so much research and watched so many videos, and a lot of it was like older videos covering things that were more current on YouTube. So I literally thought, I said, why don't I create my own coaching channel where I can teach people, and it could just be like newer, because I was literally living in 2022, like watching 2020 watching 2020 coaching videos. So I was like, let me give like an updated version. Plus, on top of all that, it's me. And that's when I really started to realize the power of like uniqueness on YouTube. Like I had to really snap out of that. Okay, like yes, there are so many coaches out here. There are so many content coaching podcasts and channels, but I'm unique. I'm special. And everyone is. Everyone has their own special way of teaching and getting all that information into your mind so that you can become the best creator you can be. And that goes for every single different genre, I believe, on YouTube. If you're centralized in teaching guitar, yes, there might be hundreds of guitar teaching websites, but the way that you do it, or guitar teaching channels, and the way that you do it though is your own special way. And you may teach and open your mouth and speak in different words that influence and inspire someone that has been looking for that. There might be someone out there who watched hundreds of guitar channels and watched hundreds of guitar teachers try to teach them how to guitar, but they may not have grasped the idea because they may not have felt like an honesty in that creator's eyes or an honesty in the way that they teach, but they might find that in you. And I think that's the part I realize is like, okay, and even like lining myself up to the other creators and the other coaches, they definitely have like a way cleaner approach and aesthetic than I do on my coaching channel and on my variety channel. But the one thing that I'm proud of is my personality, my uniqueness within myself. Like, I don't think that I'm here to teach you guys on my content coaching channel and in this podcast because I have the best videos. That's not what this is about at all. But I do feel like a lot of the coaches that are out there do feel like that. Like they feel like aesthetically wise, tech wise, camera wise, they have the best videos. So because of that, they should be teaching how to work the platform. And I feel like I'm on the opposite end of that. I still film on my phone. I still use a very low quality mic. Like I haven't upgraded anything and I'm so proud of that. Like that's part of my journey is that I want to say I got to that 100,000 subscribers with my phone and then I'll upgrade later in life as monetization grows. But I really want to be that person who uses the bare minimum and I want to just rely on my personality, on my soul, on my feelings, on my heart, on the things that people tend to just like forget about when it comes to this platform. I feel like a lot of people are very like aesthetically pleasing only, and a lot of the coaches and mentors may only get opportunity and views and likes because of how pretty their background is or how bright their amazing white lights are. Like as you can see, like we're just in my room. It's a little dreary today. Like it's not that bright. You know what I mean? Like I understand that it's not the best of the best quality, but it's still like the content is real. The content is raw, it's vulnerable, unique, it's from my mind, it's fresh. I'm just now learning things, and the minute I learn them, I'm bringing them to this podcast. This whole story that I just taught you guys about how I became a creator, it just now has wrapped up into this. You know what I mean? This is a really great time to start this podcast and start my feelings that are more long explained because I've only been able to do those 10-minute, 5-10-minute videos on my content coaching channel, and it's not enough. And that's how I know that this type of content is what I should be doing when it comes down to a niche down podcast or a niche down channel, because I can go on for hours about it. I can talk about how it's made me feel and all the things I've accomplished and all the things I want to accomplish and all the things that I've learned. These are all hours and hours and hours and hours and hours worth of conversation, and I don't really have anyone to talk to about it. So I'm so grateful that I have this podcast now to sit here and really explain how I feel about things more in detail. And there always will be something to talk about. So I want you guys to not only subscribe to this podcast as well as my content coaching channel, but if you are a content creator and you are trying to grow your own business on YouTube or through social media, or you're using it as a side hustle, or you really just like doing it, whatever it is, if you want to get better, stay with me on this podcast, subscribe to the episodes, go to my content coaching channel, get that unique view of my way to coach you guys Also, in the top link of the description box of all of the videos I have on my coaching channel, you'll see the Calendly link. You can book one-on-one sessions with me. I do YouTube channel audits. I do YouTube channel overviews where I tell you what playlists you can do, what type of ways to turn your niche and your topic into a million different types of videos. I help you with banner art. There's so much I can do to kind of give your channel like a facelift. So I do offer the one-on-one private sessions where I do stuff like that and a lot of the information is on my channel. And more than anything, I want you guys to stay a part of this with me, but continue your research. There's so many different creators out there and YouTube channels and podcasts that have inspired me and changed my life in so many ways and remind me that I'm meant to be this creator, that I'm meant to grow in this industry, and that I'm worth it. And if it wasn't for those nights where I listen to those podcasts or I watch those YouTube videos and I let these people change me and get into my mind, I would not be where I'm at today. So it really makes a lot of sense for me to come full circle and tell my story and also be there with the knowledge that I've learned to start to pass on to people, because even though I'm only going on year 3 of being a full-time content creator, you guys now know that it's a way longer time that I've been an entertainer, that I've been someone who knows what they're doing in front of the camera and really has an excitement and a passion for this industry, as well as just being there for people and creating an impact. I think that as I got older, you know, performing and dancing and entertaining has always been a passion for me when I was younger, but the smile that puts on people's faces or the feeling that they get when the show is over and has soaked into their minds is way more powerful to me now, that impact. And I chase that same feeling on my content coaching channel and on my variety channel. I just want people to be inspired. I want them to be educated. I want them to understand that it's possible, because I needed videos like that when I was first starting. Yes, I needed to learn the algorithm. I needed to learn how to make great thumbnails and titles. But more than anything, I needed to hear someone say, you can do it, you're worth it. Everyone starts at zero. Everyone starts from nothing. And I think that's what I was in fear of most, is that I had built this life as a performer and it was always like, how can I start at zero? Who's going to subscribe to a page with 0 subscribers? And it was so hard to post videos and have 0 subscribers and no one was watching them, have no views and no subscribers. Like, starting from nothing is the most painful thing ever. Absolutely. It's so difficult. But if you love your niche, if you love your topic, or if you're an entertainer like me and you just love to be on camera and create and edit and be a content creator, then just do it. And I promise you, the followers, the views, and then way later, the monetization will come. But you can't just start thinking you're going to be an overnight thing, because that's what kind of defeats you. When you think you're going to be that overnight thing and then you're not, that's the moment where you don't want to upload. That's the moment where you don't want to continue. So I just want you guys to be willing to put in the work, be willing to crack open this podcast, take some notes, apply them to your own channel, continue to listen to other podcasts, other creators. Everyone should be in this together. There should be less and less gatekeeping. We should all be talking about our experiences in this industry to help the next generation find their way through it a little easier. I think that this should be about more than anything. So I'm happy to put myself in that world where I know I can be a very solid voice to help other people grow, as well as making this a therapeutic adventure and experience for me, where I get to get off my chest all the things that I'm going through as a creator, all while helping other creators get to their goals as well. So it seems like a win-win, and I'm so grateful. If you are watching this on the Creator Chat podcast YouTube channel, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a future video. If you are listening to this on the podcast version, thank you for listening. Please make sure you write a review and give it a 5 stars if you can. And then also make sure you head over and check out the YouTube podcast channel where you can see me actually record it live, videos of me recording it live, and then also the content coaching channel where I have my classes about content creation, and then lastly, my main variety channel on YouTube, just under Nigel Battle. There you can find all of my entertainment, all that stuff we talked about that means so much to my heart is all on the variety channel. So yeah, find yourself a home within my content. I can't wait to have you and see you for the next one. I love you guys for listening. I love you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.